Hello my friends, Stephanie here, and I'm back with more movie chatter. And what I have for you today are two new releases that are both going to be available for purchase this Tuesday, October 15th. First one is from Lionsgate and the second one is from Paramount. And after I do my new release overviews, I do have a giveaway for you guys. We just passed 3,000 subscribers, so I want to say hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. And thank you to you guys for all your support and for me and the channel. So I do appreciate it, and we'll talk giveaway later in the video. But I just want to get right into the first movie. This one was sent over to me from Lionsgate, and it is the newest installment from Mr. Rob Zombie, writer-director Rob Zombie, 3 from Hell. Now, before we get going, let's just address the obvious, that whenever you're talking about a Rob Zombie movie, it's a pretty much polarizing event. We have people who love it, we have people who hate it. I happen to be a Rob Zombie fan, but of course, I have to be objective about these things, and I pretty much always go into his movies with managed expectations, because just because I'm a fan doesn't mean that I think everyone is a hit, obviously. But 3 from Hell is the sequel 14 years after the fact of Devil's Rejects, which was a huge hit by all accounts. And here we are 14 years later, and we have our crew back together again. But unfortunately, life has a way of playing out, and by the time they were ready to shoot, Sid Haig had become too ill to do the part that had been written for him in this movie. And from what I found with some research, Rob Zombie worked very, very hard to even make sure that Sid Haig, as Captain Spaulding, appeared in this movie at all. And I can tell you, when Sid Haig is on that screen, he owns it. He owns that role. He owns that moment. So what little we did see of the Captain Spaulding character was a home run. I thought he did a great job. So kudos to him, and may he rest in peace. As far as the plot and the story that we get, you know, sometimes it can feel a little loose, a little meandering, but I think that could have, is a direct result of possibly last-minute rewrites, the missing of the void that needed to be filled by one of our main characters not being in the story. So what we do is we pick up, first half of the movie, we pick up with our characters 14 years later. We kind of have a news recap, and we're kind of just rehashing what we already know. If we've seen Devil's Rejects, there's a rehashing of the story and some pretty cool scenes that we see, and they're kind of bringing us up to date on what's going on. And the first half of the movie is really spent trying to get our characters, our 3 main characters, Bill Moseley, who plays Otis, Sherry Moon Zombie, who plays Baby, and then the introduction of our newest character, Richard Brake, in one place so that they can kind of figure out what the next move is. And that first half of that movie, we see exactly what we would expect from these guys. We see the violence, we see the sadistic behaviors, the grittiness, the gore, everything that you would expect, and nothing that we haven't seen before from them. So it's the same old when it comes to their behavior. And the second half of the movie is really where that looser plot starts to feel a little like it needs to find its footing. And these characters that we have come to know as so terrifying and sadistic and take all prisoners didn't feel as scary to me. It kind of felt more like they were kind of mellowing out. Otis in particular, I love Bill Moseley. He does such a good job, and he absolutely terrified me in the first 2 movies. And then in the second half of this movie, I kind of found him to be almost watered down and normal. He's actually having a conversation with someone that's totally lucid, and yeah, he just wants to hang out and drink and meet women. And I'm thinking to myself, is this the same guy that cuts people's faces off and wears them as a mask? Because he wasn't that same menacing, frightening, sadistic character that we know he's capable of being. It's still there under the surface, but just a little more subdued, and he's trying to figure out, what's my next move. As for Baby, if you found Baby irritating in other installments of this franchise, you're probably going to find her a little more irritating in this one, because she's definitely snapped to a new level. And even Otis's character makes reference to how much Baby has gotten crazier over the years. So I personally don't have a problem with her character. She was a little over the top in parts of this, but I have to say, one of the things that Rob Zombie does so well in his movies is matching music to scenes, music to movies, soundtracks, whatnot. I actually own all 3 soundtracks, this one included, on vinyl. And probably my favorite scene in the movie involves Baby, love her or hate her. It involves Baby, and the choice of the music was perfect. It was Iron Butterflies, In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, and there are some slow motion shots and some action shots, and that whole sequence was probably my favorite part of the movie, and you'll know it when you see it. But yeah, this is definitely a movie that is for the fans. If you are a fan of Rob Zombie, I would say give it a chance, give it a shot, go into it with managed expectations. If you're not a fan of Rob Zombie, I don't think this is necessarily the movie that is going to make you a fan. It's not to say that you'll hate it. I mean, it can be seen as a standalone movie, I think. But if you're not a fan, you're probably not going to be converted into a fan. But like I said, for fans of Rob Zombie, definitely give it a shot. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was the cinematography. I thought the locations were perfect. Like I said, the first half is very gritty and grimy and exactly what we'd expect. Second half, there's a lot more outdoor shots, a lot more daytime shots. I thought they did a really good job of picking the locations, and the cinematography was cool. He does his typical, some slow motion, stop frames, slide outs, you know, what we've come to know from Rob Zombie. One thing that I wasn't crazy about is there are some scenes where there's something violent going on and he goes in real close, so you start to see just like a hand or a face or a weapon or some blood on the floor, and then we see the end result, the carnage. When horror fans really want to see what's going on, we don't want to just see the end result. So I would have preferred that maybe on some of those shots that he backed up a little bit to give us a better look at what was going on. But other than that, I can say that I found this to be enjoyable. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I thought it was fine for what it was. It was pretty much exactly what I expected it to be. And I think he did a good job. I would like to see them maybe move forward with this so that we can see what our new character and our new trio, what they're capable of, and get down to the more, you know, the grimy, gritty, violent group of Devil's Rejects that we're used to seeing. But all in all, I thought it was a good effort. I mean, if I had to rate it on a scale, I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10. I'm not used to doing that. I don't usually rate them, but if I had to, that's probably what I would do with this one. So as far as this release, this is a great release from Lionsgate. I love the cover art that they went with. I love that they kept the red theme going on the top, and they didn't do the big, you know, Blu-ray across the top. I think that looks really good. And we have the same art inside. And then really nice disc art. It's the same art, but just these little touches, even doing the disc art, I think is a really nice touch, and it just makes it for a more complete package. Now, as far as the special features, there's one on here. Of course, we have director commentary, but there is a documentary called To Hell and Back. It's the making of Three from Hell. It's a 4-part documentary. I watched the first part. That was about 30 minutes. It was really, really interesting, and I want to watch the other 3 parts, but really well done. So you get an extra 95 minutes of behind-the-scenes footage with this, so I think it's well worth the pickup, and like I said, it's for the fans. So if you're a fan of Rob Zombie, I say give it a go. It's a lot of fun. You know what you're getting into, and yeah, I say give it a go. Like I said, it is available from Lionsgate this Tuesday, October 15th. So that's my thoughts on the Three from Hell. I'm going to grab the second release and we'll talk about that one. Okay guys, I'm back and I have my second new release, which is also available this Tuesday, October 15th from Paramount, and it is season 1 of the Netflix original series, The Haunting of Hill House. It's available on Blu-ray. And this is one that I can say right off the bat absolutely, positively lives up to the hype. You guys were the ones that first told me to check it out, and once I started watching this, I binged it. I binge watched it, so it is definitely binge-worthy material. Each episode is about an hour long. There are 10 episodes. They're all here. And this is an adaptation of a novel, and the first adaptation was in the 1960s. I think it was 1962. It's a black and white movie called The Haunting, and I have seen it. I watched it after I watched this series, and I enjoyed it. It's a good movie, so I recommend that if you do like this one, which I'm sure you will. And basically, the basic premise of this series is we have a house, Hill House. It is vacant. A family, the Crane family, they move in. It's a mother and father and 5 siblings. They move into the home for the summer with the intention of restoring the home and flipping it so they can move on to buy their dream home. while they're living here, they start to experience really weird things. You know, this is a haunted house series, so there are ghosts, the kids are seeing things in the night, they're having experiences that they can't explain, they're seeing things that may or may not be there, they're terrified, and there's all kinds of things going on. And then we have a couple who, they're kind of the house staff, if you will, and they've been with the house since the Hill family lived there, and they refuse to stay there at night because they say that things just get way too weird at night. And this is what this family starts to experience. I can tell you there is not a weak episode in this series. I enjoyed it from beginning to end, and it has great atmosphere, it has great creepiness, it had everything, the attention to detail with the sets, every little detail, right down to the little doorknobs and little fixtures and things you see around. It's amazing what they did with this to create this atmosphere. Really well done. And the storytelling is really interesting. It's very creative, it's very well written, and it's a very non-linear way of telling a story, because what we find out is, as adults, these children who are now adults still have the effects of what happened to them while they were living in this house. So we're going back and forth between their childhood and present day. And the first half hour or so, I would say I was a little confused because I didn't know the characters. But once you know the characters, it's a really creative way to tell a story, and it's very easy to follow, and you know exactly what's going on. But like I said, I really, really enjoyed this. And one of the things that I can say, one of the many things that I can say that's good about this is it works for horror fans as much as it works for people who are not so much a fan of horror. Because for horror fans like myself, it has enough horror elements, the creepiness, the atmosphere, the tension, that anxiety building, those anxiety building sequences that keep our attention and make us want to watch more. And it's that whole horror, creepy, haunted house type of thing, ghost story, like the best ghost story you've ever heard. But for the non-horror fans, it doesn't have the gore and the violence and the jump scares and the things that drive them to not watch it. Because I actually watched this with a person who does not like horror, and we both enjoyed it. So I would say whether you're a fan of horror or not, definitely check out The Haunting of Hill House. And the nice thing about this is when they wrap up season 1, I know there's a season 2 coming, but when they wrap up season 1, you know who, what, why, where, when, how. You have everything tied up, and you understand from beginning to end the story that they're trying to tell. So I think it was executed to perfection, and I highly, highly recommend it. And this is a really nice release from Paramount. There's your cover. And then as far as special features, we have some extended director's cuts with commentary from creator and director Michael Flanagan for the episodes Stephen Sees a Ghost, The Bent Neck Lady, Silence Lay Steadily. And then there's additional commentary by creator and director Michael Flanagan for the episode The Two Storms. But yeah, really, really good and a beautiful release. And we have the same artwork inside. And then it's a 3-disc set. So you have the discs on a swing tray. Nicey nice. Nothing is piled up on top of each other. And then you also have an episode guide, which I think is a nice touch. Because I like that. I just like, you know me, I like the little extras with things. But yeah, Haunting of Hill House, available this Tuesday, October 15th from Paramount. I highly suggest you guys add it to your collection. And you know, we're physical media collectors here, so we get a chance to get something on physical media, take it. But yeah, definitely check this one out. And I want to thank Paramount again for sending that one over. So those are my thoughts on The Haunting of Hill House. I am going to grab the giveaway item and we'll wrap this one up. Okay, my friends, I'm back and it's giveaway time. In case you didn't know, we recently passed the 3,000 subscriber mark. So I want to say hello to all the new subscribers and thank you to everyone who has been here, continues to be here and support me and support the channel. And I'm really happy to see things moving and growing in the right direction. So as the channel continues to grow, things like this will continue to happen. And since it's October and every day is Halloween, I decided to stay with that theme. And this giveaway item for this round is going to be the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray and digital copy of The Shining. So here you go. There's the cover, and it is a brand new, unopened copy. I have my copy. I went out and picked up another one for one of you. And what I'm going to do is, of course, it's free to enter. It's always free to enter. It's just my way of saying thank you. No strings attached. All you have to do is leave me a comment telling me what is your favorite Stephen King adaptation. Doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong answer. I just want to see what the most popular answer comes out to be. So that's how you'll be entered in the giveaway. I will pick the winner of the giveaway. I'll post a video next, let's go with Wednesday the 16th. So we'll get this one up, I'll get this one out a little quicker. So we'll give it to Wednesday the 16th. I'll post a video, pick one winner, and one winner will get the copy of this movie. So hopefully you guys are happy with what I've decided to be the giveaway item. And like I said, every day is Halloween this month, so I have some cool Halloween content coming up this week. I'm getting over a cold. Who's giving me all these germs? Why do I keep getting these colds? Which one of you is doing it? There's probably a few of you that are doing it, but anyway, I'm getting over a cold, but I have some content planned for this week, so you can look for that. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I enjoyed doing it for you. If you did, give me a thumbs up, leave me some comments, suggestions, recommendations, tell me your favorite Stephen King adaptation so you can be entered in the giveaway. Hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you'll know when I upload again. And I'm out of here for today, so for now, that's a wrap.